Loggers fans, and welcome into this season's first edition of Meet the Loggers. And for the first show, we've got Loggers outfielder Rich Prigatano, right now batting over .350 and leading the team in RBIs, and also a major contributor on defense. Rich, first off, thanks very much for joining us today.
No problem.
Now, take us back out of high school. You're drafted in the 16th round, a fairly high draft pick by the Toronto Blue Jays. What goes through your head when you hear your name called and you know that out of high school you could, if you wanted to, become a paid professional in the game of baseball?
That was pretty surreal because I knew that doesn't happen to many people, and just really thankful for the opportunity. And it was a tough choice choosing to go to college.
And you did, in fact, choose to go the route of college. What weighed on your decision to go to Long Beach State?
Definitely had a lot of family in Southern California, so that had to have helped. I just felt like the coaching there would really get me maybe even a higher draft position, and just take me to the next level.
All right, and at Long Beach State, most athletic teams are known as the 49ers, but the baseball team has its own separate little mantra. They're known as the Dirtbags. Yeah. If you could, maybe take the fans through, where does this Dirtbag name come from, and is there a certain attitude that goes along with it with Long Beach State baseball?
The Dirtbags just basically means that you're always playing hard. When you would leave the field, you always want to leave dirty, meaning you're laying out to make the catch, doing everything you can to help your team win.
All right, so you consider yourself a dirtbag then?
I hope so.
Probably the best nickname in all college sports.
Absolutely.
Now, you got your coach told you you're coming to play in the Northwoods League for the Crosse Loggers. We understand a friend of your family's is Eric Thames, a professional ball player right now for the Blue Jays, who did play here in La Crosse. Was there any advice that he had to offer you when you talked to him about the Northwoods League?
Not really, but there's like a little bit. He just kind of said, swing in case you hit it. So, best advice he could give me, just have fun with it. It's the summer, still summer. You're trying to do your best, but you're still out here having fun.
And what's the perception of the Northwoods League across the country, maybe all the way out in California?
Definitely a high-ranked summer team, or summer league. Everybody wants to come here in the Cape, definitely the top two.
And one of the advantages, or maybe disadvantages, of the Northwoods League is the scheduling. 70 games, right. 75 days. It can get grueling. Maybe talk about a couple advantages of this type of schedule and maybe some of the drawbacks as well.
Some of the advantages are that if you have a bad day, you get another chance the very next day to try to turn it around. But some of the disadvantages are you definitely takes a toll on the body. You feel like you're playing every day because you are trying to get a lift in every day too. So you'll definitely feel it after a couple games.
And of course, we just saw the season's first scheduled off day. How did that feel to have the day off, waking up, knew you weren't coming to the ballpark, and what'd you do to spend your day?
Definitely felt good, but always want to be back out here anyways. But spent my day, I went fishing, kind of hung out with my host brothers, so I still got just exhausted babysitting them too. Yeah,
and who are your host brothers? Maybe give them a little shout out here.
Charlie and Ethan Newman.
All right, so what's up, Charlie and Ethan? Andy McKay. Maybe a little bit of a different guy, more of a psychological approach to the game, sits you guys down every day before you even start baseball and kind of gives you a 30-minute lecture, speech, somewhat related to sports and psychology. What's it like playing for Manager McKay?
It's definitely great. I mean, because he really helps with the mental side of the game. Because a lot of the guys don't really focus on that. They just kind of think, if I work hard, if I take a lot of hacks, it's going to get better. But he really helps my approach when hitting. Make sure I don't try to do too much, just stay up the middle. That always ends up helping me out.
Yeah, and when you talk about your approach, something we've picked up on in the booth, I'm sure the fans have noticed as well, you like to work the count, but a lot of times that means you're working with 2 strikes.
Right.
Talk about the approach that it takes and maybe the mentality it takes to be facing a lot of 2-strike counts.
Well, you definitely can't just settle for 2 pitches. So if that means I got to go with 2 strikes, then I'm still looking for that best pitch of that at bat with 2. And then hoping he makes mistakes and battling until he does.
All right. And Rich, if there was a certain baseball player, maybe past or present, professional ball player that you wouldn't necessarily model your game after, but you think your game most resembles or mirrors, who would that be?
That's tough. Probably close to Jason Worth.
Why?
Big physical guy, throws a lot of people out, strong.
All right.
Try to be just like him.
All right, so a Jason Worth type player.
Yeah.
What about when you were a little guy growing up? Who'd you look up to?
God, when I was little, probably Mark McGuire.
Big Mac?
Yes.
Yeah, he's fallen on some hard times since then, but he's all right. And then a final question for you here before the real good question at the end. Memorable play this season, either defensively or a big hit. What's one that really sticks out in your mind that you accomplished on yourself there?
Probably on the offensive side, it would have to be my first at bat. First pitch I saw, hit a double off the center field fence. That kind of felt like that set the tone for the year. But then defensively, at Battle Creek, in a close game, made a pretty good catch at the wall. So I feel like I saved a couple runs, if I can think so.
Definitely. Now, Rich, I heard you and Tyler Caressa, first baseman, the other day, jawing back and forth with each other over who has the best hair on the team.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fans have noticed the curly locks coming out of the back of the hat.
Absolutely.
Who does have the best hair on the team?
It's got to be me.
It's got to be you?
I put way too much time into it.
What do you do with your hair? You wake up and that's the first thing you do in the morning is get the hair good?
Gotta wet it, gotta pull it back, and make sure you're looking good for the day.
All right. And does the hair make the man or does the man make the hair?
Yeah, the man makes the hair. Absolutely.
But he's got to know how to wear the hair, right?
Absolutely.
All right, this is Loggers outfielder Rich Prigatano bringing us in on a little bit of his baseball life and a little bit of his hair life. Rich, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.